Good morning, readers. Today we are going to read closely to analyze precise words and phrases. Readers, go ahead and fill in your reading, learning, intention sheet. Today, as a reader, I am working on analyzing words and phrases. Readers, as we look closely at the phrases and words that authors choose to use, it gives us a window into characters and often leads us to the message or the theme of the story. As you know, the message or the theme is what we've been discussing throughout this entire unit. So thinking about these words and phrases can be very important work. Before we learn how to find precise words and phrases, I want to remind you of the story Stray and a specific page of that story. "Hey, come on," she called. The puppy stopped in the road, wagging its tail timidly, trembling with shyness and cold. Doris trudged through the yard, went up the shoveled driveway, and met the dog. "Come on, Pooch." "Where did that come from?" Mrs. Lacey asked as soon as Doris put the dog down in the kitchen. Mr. Lacey was at the table cleaning his fingernails with his pocket knife. The snow was keeping him home from his job at the warehouse. "I don't know where it came from," he said mildly, "but I for sure know where it's going." Doris hugged the puppy hard against her. She said nothing, because the roads would be too bad for travel for many days. Mr. Lacey couldn't get out to take the puppy to the pound in the city right away. He agreed to let the puppy sleep in the basement while Mrs. Lacey grudgingly let Doris feed it table scraps. Readers, think for a minute about some of the precise words and phrases on this page. What precise words and phrases did you notice? Give a thumb up when you have an idea in your head. Teachers, go ahead and call on a few students to share. Readers, as I was reading, I really noticed how the author described the puppy. She said the puppy stopped in the road, wagging its tail timidly, trembling with shyness and cold. The author really wanted us to feel badly for this puppy and to understand that it was lost. Readers, when we are thinking about precise words and phrases, we need to consider what the author is trying to teach us. So, we think about those precise words and phrases, or the image, that means the picture we're getting in our mind. And as we identify those words and phrases that we think are important to the story, we need to discuss them with our book clubs, think about them ourselves, and write about them. So we ask ourselves, what is the author telling you about the character through those words and phrases? And what does that have to do with the theme? So we're going to try this together with this same passage. And we're going to think specifically about what the author is saying about Mr. Lacey. You'll notice right here it says Mr. Lacey was at the table cleaning his fingernails with his pocket knife. The snow was keeping him from his job at the warehouse. What phrases or words do you notice in this short passage? Give a thumb up when you have an idea. Go ahead and share that idea with your reading partner now. Readers, I'm hoping that you and your reading partner talked about how the author says that Mr. Lacey was cleaning his fingernails with his pocket knife. Now, that is an entire phrase, so it's quite a few words, and it lets us know that Mr. Lacey was a rugged man, that he was using a pocket knife to clean his fingernails. Think about that for a second, and think about how that makes you picture Mr. Lacey. Turn and talk with your reading partner about this now. Readers, the author wanted us to know that Mr. Lacey was not a gentle man, and he wasn't lovey-dovey or huggy, and that's why the author said cleaning his fingernails with a pocket knife. The author wanted to describe him as rough and tough. Think for a second why the author would want to describe the dad in that way. Now think, what does this have to do with Doris wanting a puppy? Go ahead and share your ideas with your partner. Readers, as I thought about this section and thought about Mr. Lacey cleaning his fingernails with his pocket knife, and how that made him sound really rough and tough and not huggy and lovey, it made me think that maybe Doris wanted that dog because her dad was this way. Maybe she needed something to love and someone to hug and to cuddle with. That's why I think the author made Mr. Lacey so rough and tough. Readers, you're going to meet with your book clubs today. I want you to think of the words, images, and phrases the author uses in your books to describe the characters and to show what the theme is. So think about that as you meet and discuss. If you do not have this conversation with your book clubs, then it's something that I want you to write about as you read. Let's make it a great reading day.